In this session, I'm going to show you how to open a Word document from within VB. So this is very useful when you're doing internal help and you want to link a Word document help file to a VB application. The program that we're making today is very simple. It's a single form with a single button there. So on the form. So what I'm going to do first is create the button. It's going to be called BTN help. And the text on the button is just going to be called help. Alright, so the idea of this when I run my application now is that when I click on the help button, what I want to do is open up a Word document that if I go to my computer in my D drive, I want to open up this help document here. If I open it up, it's not much of a help document, it's only got the word help written in it, but when I click on that button in my program, I want it to link back to this document here and open it up. Okay, I'm just going to close the application, get out of debug mode, and what we want to do, I've actually cheated a little here and I've got the code. The code's very simple, it's three lines of code, plus 3 lines of comments of course, because you have to comment your code. Okay, now the first line of code, as you'll see here, is what we're doing is creating a new Word application uh, object. Okay, and that object that we're creating, that variable that we're creating, is called object Word, and it's of the type a Word application. The second line of code, as it says in the comments, it makes a Word application visible. So it basically opens up Word, but doesn't open up the file. You know how when you launch Word without clicking on a file directly, it launches Word without actually opening up the file itself. It just opens up without a file in the background. Now, that's pretty useless to us because we want to actually open up the file as well. The third line there says that we're going to open up the Word application file and it's going to be in the path wherever we specify it. Okay, that's why I said, that's why when I looked at the D drive before and showed you the help file, it's important that you know the path of your file. So when you're thinking about, maybe deploying when you're saying deploying your application and giving instructions to install, you might have to specify that the help file be saved on C drive all the time, so that when you go and open it, this is right. Because if it's not pointing to the right file, then your button won't work, or the right file path, then your button won't work. So if I go and copy paste that code in to my VB application under the button click event, because I'm pretty lazy, I'm not going to go and type it out again. If I go and, sorry, just give me a sec. If I go and copy that in, as you can see, there's a little problem there up in the corner. Okay, there's one more thing that, even though we've got this code, there's one more thing that we have to do before we can actually use a Word application straight away. So what we need to do is go and add a reference to the Microsoft Word application. So the way that we do this is to right click on our Solution Explorer, go to Add Reference, and we go to the COM tab and we scroll down to where it says Microsoft, and it should be Microsoft Word Object Library. If I scroll down, Microsoft Word, now it could be 11.0, it could be 9.0 depending on what version, but Microsoft Word Object Library, go OK. And the final thing that we need to do is we need to type in at the top of our class imports Microsoft.office.interop. Okay, and what that will do, before your Word application would have been highlighted, or Word.application would have been had a squiggly line that just gives reference to a library. Like I said, I've explained before, there's a lot of code that's already been pre-written in libraries that we can reuse, um, because a lot of programming is reusable code, so we can just reference that library and we can use whatever functions or whatever code other people have written. So basically in 3 or 4 lines, what we've done is we've created an application. Now that when I run it, I've created an application that will, when I click on the help button, it will go and open up my document that's in my, or open up that help document. Okay, so it's very quick and simple. So the key things that you have to remember is basically this code here. You've got to remember the 3 lines and particularly the file path. Okay, because your file path will determine where that file, where VB goes looking. You've got to remember to right click on Solution Explorer and go add reference and go to the comms and go down to Microsoft Word objects. So Microsoft Word object library, which is down there, object library, and click OK. And the final thing that you have to remember is that you have to import that class. Okay, the Microsoft.office.interop. If you've done all that right, then you should be able to open up Word documents from within a button. Okay, that concludes today's session. Hopefully you've learned what you had to learn. Thank you.